Hello, I'm Mark Tomo for the Pasfield House. You know, over the past few years, this historic Springfield home has gotten a lot of attention, not only because of the people who lived and spent time here, but also because it was and continues to be a showpiece of architectural craftsmanship from a bygone era. Recently, a local television show aired a segment highlighting some of the visual features that set this home apart then and now, inside and out. Here's what one expert had to say about the only view that most Springfield residents had of the Pasfield House.
Anthony Rubano, you're a project designer for Illinois Historic Preservation Agency, and
Yes.
you see, I mean, it's your job to see and analyze and make suggestions for all kinds of older structures all around the state. And so put on your, if you can, talk to us in your lay language.
Sure.
About what we have here. This is what's the style of this house, and what's unusual or what's noteworthy about it?
Well, it's a beautiful house to start with, and the age of the house, 1895, 6, around there, and it's a beautiful example of a very early classical revival house, or a Beaux-Arts classical house. This was a new style that was sweeping the country in the very early 1890s because of a very influential World's Fair in Chicago. And the previous houses, large houses that were being constructed, big Victorian houses with gables, turrets, and wraparound porches and so forth, well, that seemed very out of fashion by the time this style came into being in America. This is the kind of house that people started to build. Symmetrical, based on classical proportions, with columns, and we see columns all over the house on this beautiful symmetrical flat front porch, to the dormers on the third floor, which have these beautiful ionic pilasters defining them, and even around the front door itself, these exquisite, very attenuated Corinthian columns, or composite even, which is a very elaborate classical order. All of this comes together in addition to classical moldings and dentils and all kinds of classical components to tell us the style of the house. It's a very ornate example, and a relatively early one too, from the mid-1890s.
Well, it is grand, but I'll tell you, it makes you want to go inside and see if it's also grand inside, and in fact it is, isn't it?
It is, certainly, and we'll see echoes of what we see on the outside in the interior.